Tuesday, and welcome back. This is City Crypto Live. My name is David. I'll be one of your co-hosts. And today, like every single day, we're coming at you live from our studio here in Las Vegas, Nevada. We have a packed show today. First, we're going to talk about Bittrex has officially filed for bankruptcy. What does this mean if you have money on Bittrex? It ain't good, but it ain't that bad either. We also have news that Bitcoin is under attack. We have evidence that links the BRC20 standard and what they're doing back to none other than Craig Wright and BSV. Is he trying to take Bitcoin down? We have our take. We have our friend Forrest's take. We also have two gentlemen here who are local to Vegas who are part of CNFTCon, well, formerly CNFTCon. They're rebranding. And we got a special announcement for you guys, so stay tuned, especially if you're a Cardano fan. If you're a Cardano fan and you're a member of this channel, throw your Cardano emoji into the chat. But first, I'd like to throw your co-host into the ring and introduce him as Robin.
Hola! It's your boy, Big Rob, back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. If it's your first time checking us out, we're an entertainment-focused cryptocurrency channel where we take old, boring, and stale information and repackage it up in a fun and sexy way. And then...
you know what else is sexy?
What's that?
You know what else is sexy? Our sponsor is sexy. Today's live show and every live show for the rest of the month is brought to you by Cam's Blue Wire Technology. Cam's Blue Wire Tech provides your business with scalable IT solutions so you can focus on new revenue streams for your business. If you want more information, click on the link in the description of this video or go to bluewiretech.com. So big shout out there. Also, huge shout out to Bitcoin for not falling under 27K.
Yeah, there we go. Beautiful. Amazing intro, David.
First one.
One of your best.
Which means there's more to come, right? Yay.
Yeah.
Which proves my point. These are predetermined. These two here, Rocco and Robin, and our two guests in the studio, they're going to see. And I'm going to ask them at the very end if they think there's collusion going on here between these two.
Do you feel
against me?
I feel like
There is.
You feel like you're left out or something here?
No, you guys conspire against
what's
me.
going on with my hair here? Anyways.
Try to laugh at me, try to make fun of me, try to say my jokes aren't funny.
Are you feeling small, David?
It's obvious.
You're feeling small?
Compared to what?
Because this is a good transition to this next segment. Here I have...
Small transition.
Check it out. Pull up my laptop, Rocco. So here you have what it's like to be in the life of David when you're in studio with Rocco and Big Rob.
Wow.
All right. So you grab a handle of Fireball, and there you go.
You're an idiot.
And you're over here working out at the gym, doing your little rope, and well, you're just...
Wow.
Yeah. And then, you know...
Rob's going to get us canceled today.
Sorry. All right. That's all I got. So,
You know, I saw that as well. I just chose not to show it. Okay. So I want to share something very important. You know, I grew up watching Laker games with my dad. I've been a Lakers fan my whole life, and I haven't watched any games because I've been so busy. But yesterday I decided, dropping everything, no kids, no wife. I'm going to my cousin's house and I'm watching the Laker game, and the Lakers won. And I just want to share this post. This is from Frank, founder of Utes and D-Gods. Lakers are about to win the championships, and there's nothing you can do about it. I tend to agree. Robin, aren't you like a Minnesota Timberwolves fan or something?
Minnesota Timberwolves, huh?
Who's your basketball team? Do you have a basketball team?
Not really, honestly. I do like...
if you do, it'd probably be a shitty one.
I would have to say that I'm a big fan of that. I like the Lakers.
You like the Lakers?
Yeah, I do.
Wow.
I can't say that I'm like a fan by any means, but do enjoy a good old Lakers game.
Yeah. Yesterday was a good game. Lakers won. And then we have this. This is from Jason Brink, who is the chief marketing officer for Gala Games. Now, if you hold any Gala tokens, you want to know that May 15th, so in 6 days, they're upgrading to the V2 of the token. And what I definitely would recommend is you custody your own coins, something on like a MetaMask, a Trust Wallet, a Ledger, a Trezor, because some of these exchanges are not supporting the upgrade. But Jason tweeted, and here as an update, the list of exchanges supporting the Gala V2 upgrade continues to grow. So far, they've added Bittrex, Bitvivocom, Coin, blah, 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 all these areas you see on there. Nexo, OKX, Bitstamp, but no Coinbase yet. So now Coinbase is pretty popular, especially here in the States. So just know, if you have any Gala tokens, make sure you're prepared. And if you should check your contract. You should check to see if your wallet is tied to the V1 contract. And you do that, join our Discord. Jimmy does post links in there. And so he's got a little tutorial in there how you can check. Speaking of Jimmy, where's Jimmy?
No idea.
Yeah. And then we have this. So I tweeted this yesterday. So just in case you guys didn't realize or didn't know, U.S. Treasury securities, right? Bonds, notes, T-bills, those are the only investment vehicles, right? The only assets that registered investment advisors are allowed to call risk-free. The only thing in every single investment vehicle that exists, the only thing that could be labeled risk-free is U.S. Treasury assets. And well, here is our Treasury Secretary discussing those U.S. Treasury assets and what it's backed by the U.S. government.
Is when we project that we will run out of cash, and there is a chance it could be as early as June 1st. Of course, there is a lot of uncertainty, and I plan to update Congress as new information becomes available, but that's still our current thinking.
Are there extraordinary measures you can take around that time, or is that it?
Well, really, that's it. We've been using extraordinary measures for several months now, and our ability to do that is running out, and we will start to run down our cash. And our current projection is that in early June, a day will come when we're unable to pay our bills unless Congress raises the debt ceiling.
What happens on that day? Let's assume for the sake of argument it's June 1st. What happens that day if the debt limit has not been extended?
Well, Treasury finds itself in a position where we're unable to pay all of the bills that come due that day. And this would be really the first time in the history of America that we would fail to make payments that are due. And, you know, whether it's defaulting on interest payments that are due on the debt or payments due.
So the one asset class that is deemed risk-free, the only one, and that asset is backed by the full faith and credit of the U.S. government. And we have our Treasury Secretary saying we could default on our obligations and our loan and our debt. Why is this not being addressed? Right?
Because of the obvious situation is that they're going to raise the debt ceiling the same way they have the last 40 times they reached it. And this is just honestly, like, I know you think it addresses the issue with the economy. However, this narrative posted like everything's going to collapse. They're going to do exactly what they've done.
I'm not saying everything's going to collapse. I just find it funny that the only thing that could be labeled risk-free is backed by the U.S. government. And
here's the Treasury Secretary. Nothing is really risk-free. And especially if you say...
That's my point.
Yeah, it's...
But the one thing, if you go into a financial advisor...
But that's the one thing in the U.S. Like, you go abroad, the U.S. Treasury is not labeled risk-free. It's just the SEC... says or whoever regulates the financial advisors, I don't know who that is, but whoever that is,
FINRA.
That's a U.S. based organization that drops U.S. based rules for U.S. It's stupid. It's like saying, like, well, you know, I'm from America, I could take a right turn at a stoplight if I want to. I don't care what country I'm in. Like, no, you can't. Like, which I did that in Portugal one time. I pulled up to a stoplight and I had a car full of people. They were all yelling at me. I'm like, what? There's no cars here. Like, good.
That's funny. And then we have this. So we know that Coinbase recently filed a petition with the court saying, hey, we asked the SEC almost a year ago to define what digital assets are securities and commodities. And according to there's this law, something administrative, something law, saying, hey, in due time, they have to answer to us. So judge, can you make them answer? To which the judge says, yes, SEC, you have 10 days. And now we have this. The SEC has stepped back from defining what a digital asset is, stating that the term is still under consideration.
I think that's the best way. Here's the thing. If you try to, because the direction we're going now when it comes to regulating crypto is it a commodity or is it a security likened to a stock of a company? And I think that is not the right two boxes there, right? Now, sure, Bitcoin is more similar to a commodity like gold, I guess, a digital version of it. But it's still not gold. I mean, we understand that gold, you pick it up and you can do things with it. It has a certain utility in the real world, while Bitcoin is a peer-to-peer movement of value that now you can add NFTs to, and it's not the same. And so why not put a framework when we decided to regulate like the airways and the radio waves, the FCC, who regulates? Anyways, those were all created because it was new technology. So they implemented new rules and new standards, and because this was new technology. They didn't say, well, when you write a letter and you mail it, and this is how it is. So it's, when you call somebody, it's pretty similar to a letter, but it's just on a vocal. Like no, they just created a new framework for regulating or putting a basic standard in for new technology. And I don't know why we can't just say, hey, this crypto, it's something different than stocks and commodities. And so why don't we put together a framework to identify, first of all, what makes a crypto what it is, and at what point do you tax it, or that's what I think we need. So there you go.
Because some parts of the you look at something like the ICO, you can point to like an IPO, right? Initial public offering, and say they have similarities, and those are securities.
Yeah, you could say the same thing about crowdfunding, from on the internet. You can do the same thing for running a lemonade stand. Be like, well, that's just like operating a business.
Bring lemonades into this.
All I'm saying is that you can find parallels in business from one business to another. You can find a parallel between a carpenter and someone that works at NASA. Like there's gonna be similarities. You can say, well, this part of it is similar to that. Same thing. You can say, well, when you buy a token, it is very similar to when you buy but it doesn't change the fact that these are fundamentally different. It is. The NFT and the tokenization and movement of international money, the consensus mechanism, the utility, identity on there, it's very broad, and we're in the early stages, and I don't know. So,
Robin, I want to take this time to acknowledge that our chat ratio, our like ratio, is not very good. We do what you usually do.
Yeah, man. It's First of all, what's going on? Why haven't you liked the video? If you're not liking what we're doing, sorry. But if you are, hit the like button. All right. So if you're new here, say hello so we can drop an hola back at you. We do got a few new people. We got King Peasant, My Fandom TV, Super Smoked, and Anton P. And then we got Crypto Adoption is Coming, he's over here spamming our chat about something about the script. I don't know what you're talking about, buddy. All right.
I did just write a Solana script.
Oh, okay.
It was good.
All right. Anyways, to all of you that are new, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto.
Frosted Flakes said, Robin keeps trying not to pay taxes.
That is correct. Here's the thing. If I can avoid paying taxes legally, that's what your tax advisor does. So basically, when you can't afford a tax advisor, you go to H&R Block and they just get you in and out, or TurboTax and they get you in and out, and that's it. And then when you make a lot of money and you can hire a tax attorney or lawyer, that's when all the tax breaks come in. I'm like, you can write that off, right? And so you pay less taxes, but you got more tools at your advantage. And so if you play within the legal framework, why not? I mean, Trump didn't pay taxes for like 4 years? Yeah. 4 of the last 10 years, something like that.
Speaking of legal framework, we're going to do things a little different today. We're going to start with this before we get into the markets. Bittrex officially files for U.S. bankruptcy, will not halt, though, their global operations. Real quick, before I get into the meat and potatoes of here, right? We know why this happened, right? They got the Wells notice. SEC's finding them. Mm-hmm. But they're saying that global operations are fine. Now, if you have a global Bittrex account, would this worry you? We saw what happened with FTX. I'm not trying to draw comparisons here, but FTX Global went under, and they said FTX US is fine, and then that ended up going under. Do you see something
different?
No? Okay.
I think you got Bittrex who's pissed off at the US. Because first of all, they were regulated to death. They didn't know what's a security, what's not. They got hit with a Wells notice. They they closed down shop in the U.S. They got sued on the way out. And then after all of this, they were just like, you know what? We're just going to file bankruptcy on our U.S. assets. Now, screw that country.
Screw the country? Well,
no, I'm just I'm telling you what I think happened. I'm not saying it's justified. I'm just saying, let's just say say the roles were reversed. And say you, David, were the CEO of a company and you're offering a product. Doesn't even have to be crypto. Let's say you're selling shoes in China or something. Okay, you got a shoe company and you're offering products in China.
I prefer to
China's
be in Thailand.
pissed off. They're like, we want domestic products here. Whatever, we're gonna tax you. Nope, you can't ship your stuff here anymore. We're gonna confiscate all your shoes. We're suing you and get out of our country. You close down operations. They sue you on the way out. What are you gonna do if you owe a lot of money to China?
Probably
just say F that, man. I ain't paying that bill. What is bankruptcy? F that. I ain't paying that bill. They're not even domiciled in the U.S. They don't have any offices in the U.S. They're done. They're like, you know what? We don't like this country, and we're not paying the bills there. That's what I think happened.
But
my personal opinion. Now I say that the reason I bring that up is because I don't think that Bittrex is at a danger for completely collapsing and going under, and anyone using their accounts globally are going to lose access to their accounts. Now, if I had money on Bittrex, that is a real possibility. I mean, a small one at that, but I think it's a real possibility. So I wouldn't be keeping assets on there, much less anywhere. But I just think this is vastly different from where we saw exchanges close down, like the likes of Voyager and also FTX. I think that was insolvency issues, and I think this is just I'm pissed off issues.
Well, here are some of the meat and potatoes. Bittrex announced a bankruptcy of its U.S. entity on May 8th. It said that this decision only affects Bittrex Inc. and that its global platform, Bittrex Global, will continue to serve non-U.S. customers. Company's bankruptcy filing suggests that the firm has between $500 million and $1 billion in assets and the same amount in liabilities. They also have more than 100,000 creditors. Company also said that U.S. customers who did not withdraw their funds from the platform when it closed at the end of April will regain access through proceedings, and that funds remain safe and secure, but just not whole. Now, I saw someone in the chat saying at least they gave people the opportunity to withdraw.
It's been on the table for a while.
Did they? Should people have assumed that this was a possibility?
Well, here's the thing. If you're a U.S.-based resident and the exchange says we're halting operations in the U.S., and then they leave, and then they get sued, and they're not even operating in the U.S., and you still haven't moved your money,
Say it.
Say
it. You deserve to lose it?
No, I don't think anybody deserves to lose it because who they're losing it to, somebody else is keeping it. And so the only time I would say you deserve to lose it is if you were just being grossly negligent and you like accidentally burn your stuff and you knew that you were just not taking the right steps. Like you're like, whatever, I'm just going to throw some random address in. You know what I mean? Like, but if somebody took your assets and kept them from you, I don't think that you ever deserve that because the other person didn't deserve to keep your assets, right? And so if I had a Bitcoin and I was just stupid for not taking it off, someone else kept it. Hey, give me my damn Bitcoin back, man.
A wise man once said, if you don't use it, you lose it.
But let's be real here. You need to wise up. If you had assets on there, what the hell were you thinking?
Yeah.
At this point, this wasn't like it just all of a sudden just shut down operations. So,
okay. So I don't think anyone from our community has any money on Bittrex. I mean, we covered this. This was breaking news like a couple of weeks ago. We covered it. So hopefully none of you have or had any money on Bittrex. And then we have this tweet from Richie Lai, the founder of Bittrex. Yes, we filed Chapter 11. Yes, we still have 100% of all customer funds for now. Yes, there will be a claims process through bankruptcy court. This was the cleanest way to bury the baby. To bury the baby.
Well, who says that? And
That's
then puts
weird.
RIP.
It's a little weird.
Some
Richie,
creepy-ass
what's
shit,
going on here?
bro.
He must not have kids. So,
Bury the baby followed by RIP? Come on, man.
I wish you would have said bury the Gary. Okay. The Securities and Exchange Commission, their whole war cry, their rallying cry is we want to protect the American investor. What they essentially did was they forced a company into bankruptcy. Or actually, before I assume that, is that the stance you're taking, Robin? Is that the SEC essentially forced Bittrex?
No, the SEC kicked them out of the U.S. The SEC has been kicking everyone. They're kicking you out. They're trying to make it as difficult as possible. You ever had a friend who was like not the strongest person mentally? Let's just say that. And they want to break up with their girlfriend, but they don't say they will. Or you can roles reverse. They don't want to break up with their boyfriend, so they just keep treating them like crap until like the relationship falls apart, and they like force them to leave. I feel like that's what we got here. The SEC isn't blatantly kicking you out, but they're making it as hard as possible for you to enjoy time here. And the same thing, I feel like you got an ugly ass relationship, and this dude's all like, "Man, I don't want to be with my girl no more, man. I'm just gonna make things as miserable as possible. Just putting crusty ass socks and drawers all up on the stairs." Not flushing the toilet. I just say, you don't know anybody like that? Okay, or is that just a Virginia thing? Because I grew up in Virginia, and let me tell you.
Probably just the Virginia thing for sure.
Okay, for sure. All right, well.
Yeah.
Well, my boys in Virginia, man. Man up. Tell your girl it ain't working out. Stop playing those games. Thank you.
That's terrible. Yeah, Robin.
I haven't seen any new people here though, but I will take a peek here at the chat. Yeah, if you're new here, say hello so we can drop an hola back at you. I mean, we have Frosted Flake and Bird Town. I haven't seen you guys in a while, so welcome back. We got Crypto Billy in the chat as well, and yeah. So to all of you that are new, say hello. Oh, we do got Stephanie Mallet Productions as well. And the Hamburglar is back as well. So to all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto.
Ooh, Billy. Dropping a hundo piece.
Yeah, Billy with a super chat. $100 super chat from Billy. He says...
that's nuke-worthy, right?
Oh, yeah, that is nuke-worthy. There you
Meme
go.
coin buy or Sin City Crypto donation. Let's do both. Love you guys. Good things lay ahead. Much love. Billy, we love you too, my friend. And... Rob and I also bought a meme coin yesterday. We're not going to say which one because, right? We're not going to say which one, right? Maybe in the whale chat, I'll say which one. Only for the whales, maybe. But yeah, be careful. Memes, they're hot. People making a lot of money, but essentially it's gambling. So just be careful. So Billy, thank you, my friend. Thanks for all your support. Robin, speaking of support, let's get into what's supporting the crypto markets and what the prices are looking like.
All right, so taking a look, we got Bitcoin coming in at $27,623.77. And so kind of that same range that we've been at in the last week, month. We've had a little bit of movement up into testing the 30K range, coming back down, but we've held 27,000. I know we had Magic on yesterday, and he said that 26.6 is the number he's looking at. And so as long as, per Magic, if we stay above 26.6, I think 27 is just a solid number. And now, what I was talking about yesterday, I want to bring it up again. Now, taking a look. So if you were to go back the last, it's really eerie, man. I'm telling you, we went 2 exact months trading at these ranges. So you had November 9th to January 9th. We traded between 16 and 17. Exactly 2 months. And then from the 15th to, the 15th, we traded at between the $2,000 range, between 22 and 23. So now here we find ourselves again in a very particular situation where we've been trading between 27,000 and 30,000 for, once again, just about 2 months. So we're about a week away from the 2 month. I know this isn't the best chart to look at that, but.
So you thinking we're going to range for another month?
No, 1 week, man. 1 week. That's what I'm thinking.
And then what, though? So we have CPI numbers coming out tomorrow.
I think we're going to break out. I think we're going to break out to the next leg up. So I'm just going off of historical data. You got from January, 2 month period, we went from 15 to 17,000 for exactly 2 months. We traded right there. And then we popped off to 23,000. And then we traded in that range, a $2,000 range for exactly 2 months. And we popped up to 28,000 where we're at now. And then now we've been trading for 1 month and 3 weeks at the same range, $2,000. And so I'm just a man of just pattern recognition, which is part of my, human DNA. We recognize patterns.
Who says that?
It's part of National Geographic and history shows. It's what makes our species very unique here. Okay.
Wow, Robin.
Yeah, that's right. So, anyways,
What a great guy.
went back to the roots, pattern recognition, and I saw that. Hey, we're only 1 week away from being the exact same scenario as we were the last 4 months or the last 2 month increments, and I think that we're going to break out. So 32 to 33,000 is what I'm going at next week on Monday. Thank you. If the chat agrees, let me know. Is Big Rob is Big Rob on to something?
Is Big Rob actually Small Rob? Let us know.
Is Rob Stradamus here? And put a 1 in the chat if you think that we're going to be at 32,000. And put a 2 in the chat if I got just smoke coming out my ears and we're going to be still in the same zone.
There's smoke coming, but it ain't coming out the ears.
You calm down.
It's coming out from somewhere else.
So if we will still be under 30,000 next week, put a 2 in the chat. If your boys, Rob Stradamus, 30, 32, 33.
You just love tooting your own horn, don't
Yeah, Rob Stradamus. It's got a nice ring to it, though.
you? Yeah, does it?
Yeah, it does.
Better than Big Rob, I'll tell you that. Yeah. Now, I do have a Bitcoin chart here pulled up. I'd like to share with you all. This is the 1 hour on the Bitcoin. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to draw the fib trend extension tool here. So we're going to take this high we had. So it's back on May 7th, which we're at 29,100. We're going to draw it down to the low, which was at 27.2 back on the 8th. And then up to where we kind of topped that out. This was
A lot of 2s, a lot of haters in here, man.
a lot of haters, huh?
You don't believe in Rob Stradamus or what, man?
Yeah.
Apparently not.
No one likes it. You do have amazing TA. Didn't someone comment on one of our videos
Drop
like,
this hammer on someone.
Robin, you don't know TA or something? I think I saw that.
What happened?
Someone put a comment on one of our videos like, Rob, you should know TA.
Yeah, somebody literally told me it's insane and disrespectful, and how do you not know how to do TA? And I was like, I don't trade. Why do I need to do TA if I don't trade?
But why? Here's the thing, though.
If I take my car to the mechanic, why do I need to why do I need to know how to do an oil change? I don't.
Okay, I know TA. That's why you have both of us.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so fib extension. So here are some levels we should look at based off of the fib extension here. So we got the 618 level coming in at 26,700, the 786 level at 26,393. So those are some key levels to look at if we do dip below. But I'm going to remove this and go to my one of my favorite trend indicators, which is the Ichimoku Cloud. So right now we are red, so we are bearish right now, and we should be seeing a resistance right at $27,900. We are currently trading at, and we're trading above the conversion line, but below the baseline. So we do want to see that flip to become more bullish. If we zoom out more to the macro, if we go to the 4-day, again, same scenario here. We kind of bumped up against this conversion line. We do want to see this blue line above the red for our first indicator of a bullish trend reversal. And going on to the daily, we are officially in no man's land on the daily. You can see the clouds starting to twist. So if this thing pulls red, we already have the conversion line below the baseline. So this is turning bearish on the more macro. If we zoom out to the weekly, again, we have been in this zone for a few weeks. So since March 20th, we have been trading in this equilibrium zone, but some great news on the weekly. The cloud has officially twisted green. Really, really good. You can see here if you zoom in. So this is the first bullish indicator. The next one, we take a look at the conversion line, which is above the baseline. That is bullish as well. The last thing, guys, we need price to break above the cloud, make support on top of. And then, in my opinion, that is when the official macro trend reverses and we will be in a bull market, I believe, according to kind of what I study. And so, either way, we're bullish on Bitcoin. You continue to DCA in. Don't try to time the top. Don't try to time the bottom. I feel like Bitcoin is something, if you believe in sovereign money and hard money, you should be DCAing into it regardless of where the price is. Weekly, bi-weekly, whatever the case may be. So
there's the one negative indicator coming up, though. The elephant in the room has not been addressed. It is that Bitcoin Miami has historically been a very bad time for Bitcoin price movement, and it is next week.
Why?
I don't know, man. Well, the thing is, actually, this is my theory. Okay, Bitcoin Miami, you get all the maxis getting together. They got all this hype and speculation for all these big announcements and all this partnerships and beating the Bitcoin drum, and it always under delivers, right? And so I think people were buying the rumor, and then, well, there's no news, so they just sell. Or maybe somebody's just looking at all the Bitcoin maxis at the convention, and they're like, hey, we're about to liquidate this. we about to poop on their party, bro. Dropping that smiley poop emoji, you know?
There is no smiley poop emoji.
There is a smiley poop emoji. It's the standard iOS version one. We do got some new people in the chat. If you are new here, say hello so we can jump an whole lot back at you. We got Ken Anderson, Liberty and Trust, Crypto Outcast, Keith Bosher. We got Mike Daniel, Swing It Investing, and Todd Stater. And we do got a big shout out to our boy Coochie Boy back in here as well. So Coochie. There it is. To all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto.
I'd love to do a documentary of all of our community members and find out where they got their YouTube handle names from. What inspired you?
The best one is we had a video call with
With what?
I had a video call with George from Cryptos RS, and I was in the video call from my personal computer where I play video games, and so my handle was Chef Murder, and they're like, "Who is Chef Murder?" And I'm just like, I'm like, that's my Call of Duty name, In case you didn't know, your boy was a straight beast on Call of Duty. That's
speaking of Chef Murder, what happened to Chef Murder in our chat?
Well, it's obviously
That was you.
that was me, huh?
That was your burner account.
Yeah, that was my burner.
Damn, you doxing yourself?
No, somebody stopped. Somebody banned my name on this damn chat. One of the damn moderators. I'm like,
you banned the code.
I was like, hey man,
Guys, Rocco, pull out the breaking news banner. Chef Murder is Big Rob. He doxed himself. You don't dox your own burner accounts, by the way. And how did I not know?
That was when we first started.
You
bro.
were Chef Murder.
That was when we first started. Well, somebody had to throw shade at you.
I was wondering where Chef Murder went. Jason Squires knew. That's funny. All right, before we move on from Bitcoin, I want to share some banned in his own chat. That's funny. All right.
Yeah, I want to know who it was.
It was probably Redman. Options open interest on Bitcoin. This is by strike price. So we see a lot of the put options are coming in still at 25K. We do have a bunch. We do have about 18,000 open interest on the call side at 30K. And we're seeing a lot more volume coming in at 40K. So a lot of people are betting that by, and this is expiration June 30th. So you're looking at Q2, ending Q2 options, expiries. And so a lot of people are betting on 40K. 40K Bitcoin, not an equal amount, but a decent amount of people are also betting on 25K Bitcoin. As far as like the 20s or beneath the 20s, not a lot of volume at all.
What about 32 to 33, where I'm saying we're going to be at next
So
week?
here you go, 32K. You have about 17,500 Bitcoin on open interest.
Is that
on
the
call
most?
side.
Is that the largest level?
No, the largest is the 30K.
Oh, okay.
30K. But that was like that at the end of March too. So nothing really changed. All right, let's see what the rest of the markets are doing. Robin, please. I mean, Chef, my apologies.
That's right. Yeah, that account hasn't been on here in a year, so should it. Now, we got Ethereum coming in right around the same zone, $1,848. When will we see the $2,000 Ethereum? I think we got above it for a brief period of time after the Shanghai upgrade. Yeah. Let me see here. Yeah, so we're at 2,000. We got as high as 2,200. Do you think? Okay. Do you think if Bitcoin gets to 30,000, Ethereum by default clears 2K?
If Bitcoin, what? One more time?
If Bitcoin gets to 30,000, is it like a foregone conclusion that Ethereum hits 2,000?
No.
Because here's the interesting thing. Before Shanghai, Bitcoin crossed 30K and Ethereum was underneath, right where it was, the 18,000 or 1,800, excuse me. And after Shanghai, Bitcoin was at 30K and it was over 2,000.
Right.
But now they've both pulled back. I'm just curious where we'll go. So you don't find it a foregone conclusion? All right, some of the biggest gainers. Pepe's still up. Pepe's up 17% on the 24 hours, 50% on the week, and some other big gains. Bitcoin SV Satoshi Vision.
Ooh.
This is interesting. So
Hold up, man. We got some news on that one today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it in regard? Yeah, I already know what it is. Okay, so well, I'll wait for that to come up. Yeah. So here's the thing. What was Satoshi Vision created for? It was larger block size, faster transactions, more
Just
throughput
stop it.
on the Bitcoin network,
Just stop.
or at least a fork of it. Now,
Don't go
also
there.
with that said, Bitcoin Satoshi Vision is supposed to be the same price as Bitcoin, yet this is $39, and well, we know that's not far away from where Bitcoin's price is, right? Now, Lido coming in at 17% up on the 24 hours. And Bitcoin Cash up as well.
What's Pepe?
Are we seeing a trend? Do you remember what I said yesterday, David? Were you listening to me?
Probably not, but go ahead.
Exactly.
What'd you say?
Now, hear me out.
Okay.
You got to identify these trends. So, like, why are you watching our show? You want the alpha, right? And I was here yesterday. I'm like, yo, pay attention. The Bitcoin network is clogged up. There's going to be something popping up with the layer 2s, scaling solution, and alternatives.
Bitcoin Cash is not an alternative to
I'm
Bitcoin.
just saying, I'm not saying, okay, if all of a sudden Ethereum's network goes down, what's probably going to start rallying? ETH Classic. I know that's an extremely big hypothetical, but I'm giving you an example. Also, if I were to sit here and tell you a month ago, hey, Bitcoin's network is going to be so congested, they're going to have 500,000 transactions just sitting on the side that I ain't even processed. You'd be like, man, stop smoking what you're smoking because they're in the middle of a bear market. And I'm going to be like, well, Rob Stradamus is telling you that's what's going to happen. And with that said, you got to identify where the market is going to move. And right now, the buzz is moving away from meme coins and it is moving into NFTs, ordinals, and the fact that the Bitcoin network is congested. Other things in this kind of
ordinals are the Bitcoin network. So you're.
I'm just saying, man. Identify the trend. This is the trend right here. Figure out what projects offer scaling solutions. I'm not saying to go out and buy Bitcoin SV, but if you're looking for some short-term gains, start identifying where the population is going to move. And if Bitcoin has got some issues, well, people are going to speculate on, hey, money's going to go over here because this is going to happen, and Satoshi's vision is playing out. And I'm just saying, bro.
You know, actually, let's just get into it.
Okay.
So there is a narrative going around Twitter that this ordinals thing and the BRC-20 is a purposeful attack on Bitcoin, on the Bitcoin network, to shut it down, to make it look bad. And there are eerie links and ties to the BSV community. Let's start here. This is from Bitcoinist.com. Bitcoin under attack with BRC-20. This is the proof, argues one of the developers. The Bitcoin network's mempool remains clogged with 415,000 transactions waiting to be added to the blockchain. John Ratcliffe, who is a Bitcoin OG programmer and developer, wrote today via Twitter that based on the way the BRC-20 tokens are coded, it is clearly an attack on Bitcoin. As the developer explains, the creator of the BRC-20 standard made the decision to store the tokens in ASC2 JSON format. Okay? I don't know what the hell this format is, but this is one of the most inefficient data formats to choose from. It would have only taken 30 minutes to program a binary serializer or deserializer. Instead, the BRC-20 tokens are in the other JSON format. And he gives it an example, which I'm not going to go over because I'm not going to pretend like I know what the hell code is. This is stuff I would fire a junior programmer on the spot for doing, said Ratcliffe. It's a level of incompetence that is staggering, he said. He also went on to say, I intentionally call it an attack because they are knowingly using 5 times more block space than they need on purpose. Now that I have learned that the data they are storing is so inefficient that it takes 5 times more block space than needed, I don't know what to call this other than an attack. The Bitcoin Satoshi Vision community has an extensive stake in Bitcoin ordinals and the BRC-20 token. Behind Unisat, which is BRC-20's core wallet, is a Chinese development team from the former BSV community that developed Sensible Contract, which is a smart contract solution on BSV. The team behind OrdSwap, which was the first BRC-20 trading platform, was developed by RelayX, which was the first decentralized trading platform on the BSV network. Behind Ordinal's wallet is Twetch, a social application built on BSV. The founder of the mining pool, Mempool, is also a core member of the BSV community. Although this is not proof, the connections are striking. You know I love a good tinfoil hat, all right? But is there too much tinfoil on this one, or is it just enough?
This is not an attack. You know what this is? This is just marketing at its best.
How is it marketing at its best?
It is marketing. Okay, let me ask you a question. We're based here in Las Vegas, Sin City Crypto, right? And what's the hottest nightclubs? You know, there's a handful of Omnia, Hoxton, Surrender.
Hoxton?
Anyways, there's a lot of you stop it right now. You stop it. So there.
That's funny.
There's a lot of nightclubs here in Vegas, a lot of exclusive ones, but all the top nightclubs got something in common here. Let me tell you what it is. It's a long ass line, right? You go out front and it's just like they got guys in the suits and they're like got the earpieces on. They're like, no, you can't come in. No, you can't come in. You got to wait in the back of this line and things long. What happens when there's no line? You're just walking by and you're like, no, I'm good. That's usually an indication that's the place you want to be. Now, why did everybody mint NFTs on Ethereum network? When you have other options. You got Cardano, you got Ethereum, you got Binance, you got Solana. The list goes on and on. But all of the hottest, most exclusive projects were minting on Ethereum, especially at the height of the bull market. Why is that? It's not a coincidence. It's not because people were like, this is the most efficient and easiest way of doing it. No, they knew damn well if they minted it on a slower blockchain that it was going to cause a supply shock. They were going to cause the network to suffer throughput issues. And in doing so, they caught buzz because what happens? Somebody writes an article and they say, oh my God, those D-gods have broken Solana or Ethereum or Polygon or whatever it is. And so now they're getting more buzz. So they knew damn well what they were doing when they were inscribing it onto a Satoshi that takes 5 times as long as doing it in an alternative way. It is because they know they're going to write articles about these NFTs and it cause more buzz.
So it is an attack on Bitcoin.
It's not an attack on Bitcoin. It's a coordinated marketing strategy that purposefully...
You attack Bitcoin to gain media attention.
You're attacking my narrative here.
Yeah, because it's dumb.
I'm just saying, it's marketing. It's marketing 101.
How is it marketing? Okay, so it's in...
It's... I just explained it. I explained nightclubs...
Why
Ethereum NFTs, and then I explained how this...
You don't even know what you explained.
I explained ordinals, man. I explained exactly what they did. It's got nothing to do with Satoshi Vision.
I like, how else... Okay, I'm sorry, but, you know, my best friend's dad is a detective, and they always say you're not allowed to believe in a coincidence.
Okay,
Are all these things coincidences?
So what you're telling me is that it's a coordinated attack to shut down Bitcoin. They know damn well they can't knock it out. All they know is that they're going to be like bees and gnats or whatever. They're just going to piss them off.
They're trying to throw him in shambles. Who is the creator of BSV, Robin? Craig Wright. Who says there's Satoshi?
Right?
He is not Satoshi.
He says he's Satoshi. He will sue your ass if you say that any louder. You say it 3 times, it'll come around like Candyman.
Yeah. Okay, seriously though. This guy who's been trying to knock Bitcoin off is saying BSV is the real Bitcoin. He's like, how can I make the network look bad and bring people to BSV? Like you said, the alternatives. Look out for narratives. We saw BSV pump 40% in one day.
They just want the attention.
You have the option of, okay, efficiently store it on Bitcoin's network or just clog the network down and pretend like we don't know what the hell we're doing. Oh, and we all have ties to BSV.
It's just like a little kid that big brother and big sister's getting all the attention. Nobody's paying attention to him. So what's he do? He knocks over the vase and starts breaking stuff. Not because he's trying to like devalue the house. He's not trying to break up the family. He's not trying to break up the family. He just wants attention. And that's what he's doing. He's marketing.
Bringing harm to the network.
That's what they're doing. They're trying to market. That's all it is. That's all they're doing. They're trying to create a supply issue. They're trying to get front page headline news.
They
through
already
all of these
were. They already were.
But there's new projects coming out.
They
There's
could have
all
done-
these meme coins coming out. The meme coins like, how are we gonna stand out? Like, all right, let's try to like compromise the network by coming out with this. That's what the Ethereum's NFTs were doing. And the Ethereum NFTs were like, if we can mint this a certain way, we can crash Solana, and then all of a sudden we'll be front page news. It's marketing at its best, man. You should know. I mean, the best marketing is usually the negative one. What was it? The TMT. Who's TMT? The
Floyd Mayweather.
Floyd Mayweather. He always loves some negative press. How do you think he got so big? That
I don't know.
Nice shiny gold toilet of his.
Who are you guys with? Are you with David or Robin? And if you're a member of the channel, feel free to use your David or Robin emoji. Do you guys think that this was a coordinated attack? Put a 1. If you think it wasn't, put a 2. I just don't see how you have all these similarities and you have all these connections and they're all somehow tied to BSV. You have Craig Wright, who's the founder and creator of BSV, and sees an opportunity here to completely try to destroy the network, make it look bad, move people away from Bitcoin. I can see it happening. Now, we do have
Was it 1 for Rob? Is that what it was?
No, one for if you think it's a coordinated attack.
And 2 for marketing?
1, it's a coordinated attack. 2, it's not a coordinated attack.
It's marketing for a 2. Better see a lot of 2s in here. It's kind of split, actually.
You already
kinda
had
split.
the marketing.
Can you agree on the number at least?
Yes, we can definitely
One
agree on
and
the
two.
number.
1, coordinated attack. 2, NFT marketing at its finest.
You know what? I want to get our in studio guest's opinion here. Adam, do you think this is a coordinated attack, or is this just marketing and whatever the hell Robin said?
Why can't it be both?
You can't do that, man.
Yeah. I mean, why
can't.
not?
You
They
Yeah, hey,
somebody had an idea, right? Like ordinals in the first place, which are already kind of weird, and then now it's like an ordinal with a quantity, right? This is basically what a BRC20 is.
Yeah.
Nobody saw ordinals coming because Bitcoin was supposed to be pure digital gold. So yeah, I mean, sometimes you're a victim of your own success, right? So it could be both. It could actively be people leveraging the attack and ramping it up. I mean, that's an expensive bad actor attack, though,
Right.
yeah.
because they are paying for all those transactions.
Yeah, Adam, can you real quick, for those who are saying, who is this guy? Can you kind of introduce yourself, and then we'll talk about what we're going to do together at the end of the show.
Yeah, my name's Adam Dean. I'm the co-founder of BuffyBot and CNFTCon, now rebranded to NFTXLV, a big NFT and blockchain event that we're hosting here in Las Vegas for the second year in a row, coming up in September. And I also primarily do development on Cardano and Ergo and Algorand right now.
You're a dev?
Yeah, I'm actually a
Holy
legit
shit.
dev.
How did I not know that?
Because
Adam
we
is a dev.
just have group chats and I just show up with my cowboy hat and talk shit. So.
Nothing to see here. I'm gonna drop this marketing in a little
Adam,
bit now.
Okay, Adam, this is perfect. Oh, by the way, guys, Adam, and we also have his partner Nick in here. He's not on camera right now, but we'll bring him on later. They have something exciting that we want to share with you guys. If you're a Cardano fan, or if you want to come to the convention, we have something special for you. So make sure to stay tuned. Now, Adam, you're a developer, okay? When they could have done the same thing and done it more efficiently versus doing it the way they did it, is it incompetence or is it done on purpose?
Okay, so the whole ASCII versus CBOR argument that we were talking about earlier.
Right.
Sometimes you stick with the slower horse because it's the one you're familiar with and you know how to ride. So JSON is really good. The internet's used to it. It's an interoperable standard, but there are much better serialization like CBOR that get your byte size down in half or 5x, like they were talking about. So that could just be, I've got an idea and I want to execute quickly, and I don't want to spend the extra 30 seconds to write that serializer, deserializer.
Got it. So it's nice. Okay, so it might not be incompetence. It might be, hey, this is just what I know, and I don't want to take time to learn it, even if it only takes 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? Because unless you truly cared and understood the ramifications of doing it the way you did it, has on the Bitcoin network, if you don't really give a crap, you're just like, yeah, whatever, I already know how to do this. Let me just do this real quick. Okay. So that's why you think it could be both. You could be both a purposeful attack and just marketing.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing it in the chat right now, right? Can the devs do something? The devs are lazy, man. The devs don't do anything.
Or they just don't like change?
No, it's quick, easy money, right? Like, take a little bit extra time, spend more development cycles, or push something out that works. You know, because now somebody can ride in on the white horse and be like, hey, I got a BRC21 that's even better, that doesn't break the network. So, you know, that could be an intentional attack to build hype for an even better solution coming down the road.
Now, Robin brought this up yesterday, right? You got to figure the devs are going to do something about this, right? Because even though and one point is they're making a lot more money because the transaction fees and some blocks were more than the block reward was. So can you see a scenario where the devs go in there and they roll back, let's say, I don't know, they roll back Taproot somehow or something, but then that would essentially mean they're taking money out of their own pocket. What do you think is the likely scenario? Or if you are a dev, you're a Bitcoin dev, what would be your solution if you have one?
I mean, that's a tricky one because you're always dealing with, you know, you've got to either get people hyped up, you know, you got to launch a Pepe and get other people putting in those transactions. Because, I mean, like, it doesn't make sense for you to launch your own transactions to get the money back on your mining rig. You know, like, you're just kind of shuffling the money through your own pocket and hoping that it somehow magically multiplies. But yeah, I mean, creating an inefficient standard that costs more bytes that leads to increased transaction size, that could be part of the angle as well.
Interesting. Okay.
I'll say one thing though, when it comes to the fees that these miners are incurring, this is something I wanted to touch on yesterday. It's, well, when the mining rewards kind of dry up, was it like in 100 years, there's going to be no more mining rewards?
2140.
Yeah, 2140. And even before then, the mining rewards are going to be so insignificant as far as, you know, you think you're getting like 0.00 something of a Bitcoin. And
well, that's not for a while.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is that it's encouraging that I always thought to myself, I'm like, well, if there's no mining rewards, I know the transaction fees are going to be the incentive, but is it going to be a sustainable business model for them to have warehouse after warehouse after warehouse after warehouse of ASICs? Is that business model still going to be profitable with no mining rewards in the form of Bitcoin, but with only transactions? And this goes to show you that if the network is being used, that the Bitcoin white paper and Satoshi vision, not actually the token, but you know what Satoshi was planning out for the basically moving off of the mining rewards and going into transactions, it is a sustainable business model. And we're seeing right now that this works, and this could be, you know, the main source of revenue later on when Bitcoin's mining rewards dry up.
You know, Forrest did a video about this for us. And in it, he talks about there's some other narratives as well. And these are, majority of them are from the Bitcoin maxis as to what is happening and how they can fix it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and watch this video.
All right, so the hot debate in the Bitcoin world right now, and really in the crypto world, is whether or not there's an attack on Bitcoin. These claims circulate as transaction fees climb higher. Before we go into what's causing these transaction fees, let's actually look at the transaction fees and how high they've spiked here in Glassnode. So we're looking at the total transaction fees, which have been spiking up. It looks like total fees around $11.7 million. And historically, we see when these transaction fees spike, it's actually historically has been a top signal for Bitcoin. Now, the reason these are spiking is different this time around because of, you know, what we'll get into in a second with ordinals and BRC20 tokens. right? But if we go over to the average transaction fees, we still see that they're around an average transaction fee of $19.22, which is considerably lower than some of the levels that we've seen Bitcoin's peaks come in at before. But this is certainly starting to ramp up. So whether this is bullish or bearish for Bitcoin's price action is yet to be seen. But I will say these transaction fees, in my opinion, are positive for Bitcoin miners. Bitcoin miners are making more money. And if you watch this channel and you've seen me come on here and talk about the problem that is present with Bitcoin, where the halving rewards reduce in every 4 years, they get cut in half, right? And that reduces mining fees. That's a problem for miner revenue long term. But now with higher transaction fees, that's actually very positive for Bitcoin miners. It makes the business model more sustainable, at least for the time being. We're actually also seeing a ton of unconfirmed transactions. It's clogging up the Bitcoin network. 455,000 transactions need to be processed for Bitcoin here. That's a big deal, because if you're trying to send a transaction through, there's a strong chance it's not going to go through, or you're going to have to pay up for high priority, which right now is going to cost you around $23. If you want to pay less, your transaction's not going to go through for a very long time.
Will you unmute me? So I paused it here. I want to get your take real quick, Robin, before we move on. $23 if you want it to go through, right? That's the premium you got to pay. I just spent $30 for the slowest transaction on ETH yesterday when I was degenning into my meme coin. So is it all that bad? $23. We've seen transaction fees on ETH, even when it's proof of stake. And we told you guys this, that the merge is not going to change transaction fees. It's not going to make it cheaper. And it has not. So are people making are we gotten used to cheap fees so to the point where we don't look at, hey, what else is going on in the space? ETH, the number one layer one, you're still spending $50-$60.
So what's the question?
Are people overreacting? $22
they're not overreacting. Come on, man. You can mail a letter for less than $1. And it's physical. It's an envelope. Somebody grabs it and it goes into a truck. And then in the truck, it goes into a facility. And it gets sorted. It goes in another truck. And somebody physically walks it up to your house and puts it in your damn mailbox. That costs less than $1. And for me to send a transaction through the internet,
it's still cheaper than a wire transfer.
I'm just saying that this is ridiculous, bro. This is ridiculous.
I think you're overreacting.
In this day and age, it should not cost us $30 to send a message over the internet. That's what you're doing? Tell me that's not what it is? I'm sending a message, I send it to you, and then a miner validates it.
You're sending money.
The message has money in it.
Yes.
Or NFT in it.
And the same thing in the traditional banking system, you would spend twice that on a wire transfer.
But this is the whole point of cryptos. We're getting away from that. And we're going backwards at this point.
So what's there
going to be next? In the height of the bull market.
So get rid of ordinals?
So the bull market, so 2024, if there's no BIP proposals that address this situation, then we're going to have $100, $200, $500 Bitcoin transactions. Now we're not even talking about, well, it's cheaper still than a wire transfer. Now it's 10 times more expensive than a wire transfer. We're going backwards unless this gets addressed. That's all I'm saying, man. It's not okay. We're in the middle of a bear market, and if this is the fees, concerning.
Now, we've been moving backwards, but let's move forward again with the video.
So what is actually causing these transaction fees to spike? Well, the Bitcoin network is being used for more than just transferring Bitcoin. People are inscribing ordinals, which are basically like Bitcoin NFTs, right? And we see Bitcoin ordinal inscriptions count over time has gone up parabolically, right? Daily inscriptions are north of 2 million, and yesterday they were over 4 million, setting an all-time high. This is pretty crazy, and people are upset about this who are not fans of how Bitcoin's being used for NFTs and for BRC20 tokens. We'll get into that in just a second, but it's essentially the same as ERC20 tokens, right? So you have fungible tokens now tradable on Bitcoin, and people are speculating on essentially meme coins on Bitcoin, on the Bitcoin network at this point in time. And it's congesting the network. And people who are kind of purists about Bitcoin maximalists, they don't like this because it's making it more expensive to transact on Bitcoin for what they say is Bitcoin's intended purpose. Now, the other side of the argument is that, look, Bitcoin's decentralized. Part of the power of Bitcoin is that anybody can use it. However, anyone can use the network however they see fit, so long as they're willing to pay for it, right? So, look, there's two sides of the argument here. I'm personally on the side of, hey, it's an open network. It's decentralized. You can use it however you want. It is certainly not designed to be used as a smart contract network, or it's not designed to necessarily transact NFTs or BRC20 tokens. Certainly it's not. However, if people want to do that and it's capable of doing that, then they should have the ability to do so. You got some people, I think, that are really out of pocket, really drinking the Kool-Aid. There's this person who thinks that it's a attack vector for 3-letter agencies, and the CIA or FBI is the one behind these attacks on Bitcoin. I would say no, it's just meme coin speculators. It's just NFT speculators, right? Now this does call into question for Bitcoin. An important decision has to be made. If this goes on and continues to go on, you may have a situation where Bitcoin Core, the development community behind Bitcoin, decides to hard fork and remove the ability for ordinals to be inscribed or for BRC20 tokens, fungible tokens on Bitcoin to be used. And you may have a Bitcoin fork coming. That's a discussion that people are starting to speculate may occur. So very interesting implications for Bitcoin. But yeah, that's my take, and hopefully this video was helpful. Peace. Oh, last thing. Stacks, layer 2 for Bitcoin, right? I know I kind of signed off there. Stacks is a layer 2 network for Bitcoin that could potentially be a solution for offloading a lot of this transaction volume. This is something that we flagged in Sistine Research when ordinals were first popping up and putting a lot of demand on the Bitcoin network. That was around 28 cents. We've seen it pop as high as $1.31, and now the Bitcoin fees are popping again. We may see another leg out of this depending on whether or not Bitcoin's price pushes up above 30K. So could be another leg for Stacks, which is interesting. All right, now I'll sign off. Peace.
Okay. I want to ask Adam first. So Forrest brought up a potential Bitcoin hard fork, essentially getting rid of Taproot, which allowed these inscriptions and, smart contracts to be built on top of Bitcoin. What are your thoughts on that? And do you think a majority of the developers, is there enough, would you think there would be enough support for a hard fork to bring all these miners over to the new fork? Or you think that could be something where it can completely break the Bitcoin network and it could spell doom? What's kind of your take on that, Adam?
I don't know. So that's the hard part, especially
Pun intended?
Yeah, the hard fork is the hard part, right? 'Cause now we got 2 blockchains with divergent development strategies. And we have one set of developers that are really good at Bitcoin, right? Or one set of developers that are really good at Ethereum or Solana or whatever they're on. Do we have enough devs to split that effort to have Bitcoin, NFT, DeFi, Summer chain plus Bitcoin, old dinosaur store of value, digital gold chain? Probably not if you look at kind of the speed of innovation that Bitcoin has today. There are good, and I've seen a lot of recommendations in the chat. We got things like Lightning and everything else coming out in the future that are going to improve these throughputs. But yeah, for me, the future is multi-chain. I know it's a parable and a catchphrase that a lot of people like to use, but there's chains that are good at one thing and not so great at another. And hopefully we get to a future where wallets and things like that are so interoperable that you can do NFT degen stuff on one chain, you can do DeFi degen stuff on another chain, and then you can have your store of value wherever. But those multiple chains that are properly suited to the task that they're trying to accomplish, rather than right now we're trying to shoehorn every Web3 aspect into a single chain somehow, and it's just never going to work. It's not how a decentralized ledger is ever going to operate efficiently.
I think it's a great opportunity for layer 2 Bitcoin, especially that is focusing on NFTs. So the same way you have the Lightning Network where you take a batch of transactions, use the security of the Bitcoin network by checking in periodically and batching all your transactions at once. Why not do the same thing with NFTs? And I think, I don't know if that will catch on because, you have alternatively, why even do this on Bitcoin when you can, do this already, which is built out on other platforms, layer ones that, that are designed to do this essentially, designed to have smart contracts and store metadata to move assets just naturally between one person to another, all natively on the base layer. And so, yes, but then you have the Bitcoin maxes that are like, hey man, I want this on Bitcoin because that's I'm a cultist and it has to be here, and everything has to be Bitcoin. And so I don't think that narrative is going to change. And for that reason, I think there's always going to be a market for people that want to have assets, and we're seeing the demand for it on the Bitcoin network. And I do think this is a little bit of FOMO where people legitimately don't care that it's on Bitcoin. They just think, hey, this is the next thing, so let me pile in now. But I do think that there is a big chunk of the percentage of people that do have ordinals that are in the Bitcoin community, and they think this is the next coming of Satoshi, or the next hype or next utility of Bitcoin. Because when Bitcoin first came out, it was all about payments, right? Let me buy a pizza with this Bitcoin. Now that narrative is gone. It has shifted, and now you're like, it is a store of value. But starting to hear the next narrative, which seems to be, hey, there's more utility to this. So you can store NFTs, and I think it's a great opportunity. And as I mentioned earlier and yesterday, I think we should start trying to identify, if you're trying to get an early access into a project, who is building scalable solutions that offer smart contracts, particularly NFTs, on the Bitcoin network, who can do what Lightning Network is doing, but with NFTs, because, hey, that might be something to look at.
And for those wondering who the gentleman in the beautiful cowboy hat is, that is Adam, co-founder of formerly known as CNFTCon, now known as NFTXLV. He is also a early developer on Cardano. And we do have some Cardano news. Speaking of Cardano, and before I move on to Cardano, and we have a special surprise for you guys in our community, so stay tuned. Do you agree with Forrest? What side of the fence are you guys on? Are you on the side that, hey, Bitcoin is decentralized, open source, it was created that way, people should be able to use it how they want as long as it's available to be used that way? Or should we respect Satoshi's original vision that Bitcoin is meant to be peer-to-peer? Yes, it has morphed into more of a store of value, but definitely wasn't meant to whatever we're seeing happen now with ordinals and inscriptions and NFTs and meme coins. That's not what it was meant to be. What side of the fence are you guys landing on, Robin?
It's definitely different than what he even started. Bitcoin white paper, the title is peer-to-peer payments, or I forget the exact wording, but basically that's what it was. And nobody's using Bitcoin to pay for coffee and transactions, even though the capabilities are there. It's just not really efficient, and there are alternatives that do this a lot easier. If you're dead set on moving your Bitcoin, you can do it on a layer 2 like Strike or the Lightning Network. So that is there, but we all know what Bitcoin is. It's a store of value, it's digital gold, and like my man here said, it's a dinosaur chain. But, unlike the dinosaurs, I don't think it's going to go extinct. But I think it's always going to make for a good movie.
What are your thoughts, Adam? Are you on the, hey, let people use it how they want? It's open source, it's decentralized, or hey, this is not what Bitcoin was meant to be. Let's scale this thing back.
No, I mean, code is law, right? If you can do it, go ahead and do it. That's what decentralized means. I don't know. Technically, can you get arrested if you deface the U.S. dollar or whatever, and draw something on George Washington's forehead or something? But I mean, this should be your money, the people's money, to use where and how they see fit. So if the chain allows it, then I say it's fair game. Go for it. Do what you like. But and so maybe that is the question. This Taproot update that enabled this. Was that part of the original vision or not? Is kind of the big question.
Yeah, I think you can also look at history. There's when it comes to new technology, especially with programs and codes, especially the things that are on the internet. You put something out, and then all of a sudden somebody comes up with a crazy use case for it that nobody expected. So it's not just in Bitcoin, and so
I share the same sentiment as you guys. I think, you can't call something open source and decentralized, and it's for the people, and no one controls it. And then when people use it to its full capabilities of what you guys, the developers, the core team, the miners have voted on with the update. You gave the capabilities, so if you want to pull it back, you're gonna have to fork the network.
It's like if someone was playing Minecraft and you're like, look, man, you have to just play in the world and just kill the zombies and that's it. He's like, but I really want to build a life-size replica of the Death Star that you can, walk around in its entirety. And it took me 5 years to build. That's not why Minecraft was created, but people are going to play around, do some pretty innovative things. Speaking of innovative, we got our boy Redman dropped 10 gifted memberships. So big shout out to Redman. And then also we got a host of new people here. If you're new, say hello so we can drop an hola back at you. We got Grizzly Wicks, Ricardo, Calathea, Caltai. I don't know. Anyways, we got Jamie, Ben, El Proof, Manuel, Rico, Lance, Ken, 151, Crypto, Phobos with a PH. We got FP, Rafiki, TJ, Crypto Naughty, American Therapy, Zug and Aaron T. Kink.
Did you say Rafiki?
Rafiki.
Like from Lion King?
Yeah. To all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto.
Lion King. Did you cry during that movie?
No.
Of course you didn't. You don't have a heart. Adam, I bet you Adam cried. Did you cry, Adam? When Mufasa?
Had that single
For sure.
single tear at least.
I 100% did. Rocco, what about you? Do you know what Lion King is?
He doesn't even have a microphone.
I don't
Oh,
like
sorry.
lions.
Rocco said he loves.
Does he got a microphone now?
Rocco
Yeah, I
said
do.
he cried.
I don't like lions. I eat
You
it
don't
for
like
breakfast.
lions.
I eat it for breakfast.
Rocco, did you cry during the movie? I don't like a lion. You know what we do know Rocco likes, and what we like, and what you like, which is Cardano. So if you're a Cardano fan, throw your Cardano emojis in the chat. So we have a couple things to share with you as far as Cardano, and then we'll talk about our Cardano NFT convention here. Cardano dominates transaction volume as Bitcoin ETH network fees skyrocket. A couple things I've highlighted here. The 24-hour transaction volume on the Cardano network has amounted to a staggering $13.25 billion with a B, well above that of ETH and Bitcoin. You can see here a little handy-dandy chart here. So Cardano volume going up, man. Cardano volume going up. Are they going to replace Ethereum? Finbold reported on the decentralized finance applications on Cardano are witnessing a large increase in transactions. And then we have this as well. Now that Cardano's load is at 94%, users can expect this in the near future. Cardano's load stood at 95% or 94% as of May 8th, 2023, aka yesterday. The Cardano contributor stated that all transactions are on the network were processed on a first-come, first-served basis. However, upon hitting the 100% load, transactions would be queued up and users may have to wait for their transactions to go through. Another outcome of the load hitting 100% would be that stake pools could sell priority access to users and dApps they may also reach a point where they could prioritize one DEX over another. So even Cardano, it seems like, might come to a point where, hey, at the way it's currently constructed, might not be as efficient as a lot of people assume it is. We know Hydra's in the works, right? Hydra would potentially bring Cardano's TPS to over 3 million or 3 million transactions. What it does is it takes all the stake pools and essentially gives them 1,000 transactions per second. You have about 3,000 stake pools. Do the math. Rob.
So the thing is the roadmap for throughput and scalability, even with delays, should be done and implemented by the next bull market. And so, in stark contrast to what we're seeing with Bitcoin and even Ethereum, I'm not exactly sure where Ethereum's roadmap lays right now as far as the timing compared to the bull market. But my concern is, hey, build in the bear market, because what we saw last bull market in 2021 with Ethereum's throughput issues, because everyone was trying to mint NFTs, it's going to be 100-fold on users internationally, companies, corporations, more NFTs. I think you're going to have NFTs expand outside of just images. So perhaps music, videos, who knows what else? Perhaps real world tokenized assets, like real contracts and titles and deeds to houses and ID, whatever. Anyways, I'm just saying there's going to be a lot more transactions. And so let's get this thing scalable before the next bull market. Because if your roadmap ain't there, God help you. Because Bitcoin, Ethereum, going to see some transactions. Get that thing scalable. And, Cardano's getting near the threshold, but I think that'll be addressed
What's your
before then.
Adam, what's your take? Being active in the Cardano community, and
were we kind of right on the Hydra and the scaling? Because I know, what's going on? Because
and way far off. So,
okay, beautiful.
First and foremost, we've hit 100% chain load on Cardano a few times already in the past, and we see the same thing. We see a backlog. We see it take a long time for people's transactions to hit. The differentiator there being Cardano only has a single, what do they call it, deterministic fee structure right now. So everybody pays the same amount based on how many bytes they're putting on the chain, and you get in line, first come, first serve. So there's not this pay more and get it on there right away. There's a paper about maybe adding a tiered fee structure, but who knows? This is Cardano, ADA we're talking about, so maybe 2, maybe 3 years. Hydra is live on mainnet now, but I think it's been misconstrued by the media in terms of what it's actually going to do. So Hydra is a state channel for transactions. But what that means is that if you're somebody like a bank that knows you have, let's say, 100 million in customer deposits, you could put all of those into a Hydra channel for the daily and let your customers move those funds freely between accounts and then settle back. So it's more of like a roll-up state channel than it is giving each stake pool 1,000
like the Lightning
transactions.
network is to Bitcoin.
Exactly. Yeah, very similar to how Lightning works for Bitcoin. There are differences. I'm not super well versed in all those intricate details, but yeah, it's definitely much more of a state channel roll up than it is. Cardano's going to not magically hit 1 million TPS this year. So anybody saying that is wrong. But it is going to make some applications a lot better.
Are there any other upgrades or anything you're hearing of or that are in the works that is going to make Cardano be able to scale? If, let's say, the volume keeps ticking up and maybe Cardano sees more NFT volume on its chain than Ethereum because Ethereum's too expensive. Is there anything going on or any upgrades that are in the pipeline? I know we're kind of heading into the Voltaire era of Cardano, which is essentially decentralized, like being the most decentralized chain, even more than Bitcoin. That's their goal, at least. are we headed that way to where Cardano is going to be scalable to the point where, hey, we're not going to be at 100% payload. We're not going to have to worry about structured fee things. What are you hearing? What are you seeing? What are your thoughts there?
So the really nice thing, and this does go hand in hand with the Voltaire era and the community governing the Cardano blockchain, is that we're going to get to a point where we already have this very parameterized blockchain. So if we need bigger blocks, if we need more smart contract execution, if we need to raise or lower fees, the community can just put forward a proposal, vote on it, and it goes into effect the next epoch. So we have that capability already built in on the L1. And we've already seen that about a year or so ago. They had the first DEX on Cardano launch with Sunday Swap, and just kind of the chain ground to a halt because there was so much interest. So what did we do? I think, just about doubled the block size to where now we're not really hitting that. And we still have a ton of bandwidth and block space and size to go. The core founding entities are just taking it really slow and cautious with those adjustments right now. For one, because we don't need them very frequently, and for two, just really measuring and making sure that it's a healthy growth and expansion of the network as we go.
So do you have any concerns
That's good insight there.
that you'll find that grind to a halt situation happen again? Let's just say in the next bull market, when your transactions are 100-fold, or do you feel just confident that the proposals and the voting and what you spoke about will efficiently work?
I mean, so we're in a lot of the same situation right now with Cardano, like we already talked about with Bitcoin and the ASCII JSON versus CBOR for this BRC20 standard. We already have Plutus v2 and a lot of other optimizations that dApp developers can take advantage of, but they don't have to, right? And it's a decentralized open sandbox that anybody can come in. So we do have some of this, like, we expect the developers and everybody playing with the chain to be good, honest actors, but somebody could just do a not so optimal solution that can cause us problems. So I think we're going to need to scale up before this next bull run, even with Hydra in place and some of the other scaling solutions like input endorsers and Mithril and things like that.
Man, such good info. Real quick, Adam, this is the last question I'll ask you, and then we're going to get into the convention here. But you mentioned doubling the block size, and that narrative has been thrown around with the whole Bitcoin thing. Hey, 1 meg is where you want to be at. You can go up to 4. Some people saying, well, just make the block size bigger, but then it's harder for people to run nodes, and the network becomes less decentralized. What's your take on that? Is that true? Like, does a network become more or less decentralized as the block size grows? And is that even a practical solution for something like Bitcoin?
No, it's absolutely true, because the requirements to run a validator scale exponentially as you need to pass that kind of bandwidth around, right? And so it has a lot to do with how big the blocks are, how rapidly you mint blocks on your network. If you haven't looked at the requirements to run a Solana validator, if you're not Google, like, I don't know how you do it or how you afford to do it. So yeah, if we want to increase block size, you need a better internet connection. You need more hard drive space because the ledger is going to get bigger, because we have to assume, right, every blockchain is going to be used at 100% capacity. Right. So how much hard drive space do you need to store the ledger? Or do you have a sharding or other sort of roll-up technique to prune the ledger? So it's not that simple, and especially from my experience with Cardano, we have an average of a block every 5 seconds. So you need to get each block propagated worldwide to all of your validators within 5 seconds, and so there is a theoretical network latency and bandwidth cap on how big you can make block size before you need another solution.
Man, guys, hit the like button if you're liking this info, because I'm loving this info. I'm a very technical guy, and so you do such a good job of explaining, Adam. So thank you so much for that. Now, Adam, let's talk about NFTXLV. And before we give the floor over to you, I want to share a video here. This is a hype video. Okay, and so this is so Rocco, let's go ahead and cue up this laptop here. So it's about 30 seconds long. So now let me say this, okay? So if you guys are like, what is NFTXLV? It's formerly CNFTCon. They rebranded. And let me tell you, when Rob and I, we've been to a lot of NFT conventions, and CNFTCon last year, we both looked at each other when we're done. We're like, this is by far the best put together convention, not just in NFT, but like I'm talking about this thing rivaled Bitcoin Miami. It had that same feel. We had a lot of fun. We had a great time. I actually won a couple prizes there because remember when I was hitting those shots, I was like, oh shit.
How did you do on the cornhole for the block owls? Did you do?
No.
Yeah, I don't
did
talk about that either.
Mad Dog Racing, I think it was, or Mad something. And I sung 3 out of 5. I got a sweatshirt. My wife wears a sweatshirt now, but yeah.
We've been to a lot of conventions. The NFT ones are pretty disappointing generally. They seem to be like underwhelming on the size, and then anyways, it's very well put together, and like we said, rivaled some of the bigger conventions, Consensus and Bitcoin, as far as the layout, the venue, the speakers. So yeah.
What? So Adam, share with us what the plans are, when the dates are, what are you most excited about? And then I'll let you announce what you guys are doing for our community.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. So we're coming back to Vegas again this year, September 29th through October 1st, at the convention center. We're going to have about the same amount of floor space. And yeah, we were CNFTCon last year. For us, it was always a little KC, even though we came from the Cardano community. It was more about crypto, community, collectibles, but not wanting to pigeonhole ourselves, and all of us as a team agree that the future is multi-chain. So we wanted to make sure everybody felt welcome, and that's why this rebrand to NFT XLV, the X standing for experience. We wanted to make more than just booths, an experience that you go to and you really just remember. And create a platform for people to, build those actual strong interpersonal communities and connections that you can't get just interacting on Twitter comments or reading blogs. You really have to be there and meet people face to face. So this year we're really doubling down on that, on the networking and the growth and the community engagement. But then also looking to increase our developer track, exploring music and video NFTs. So just really wanting to push forward because we think that NFTs are going to play a huge part of the future. The monkey PFPs, we're only scratching the surface of what this technology can do. So we're excited to grow and grow with it.
Yeah, and I want to share, I got this pulled up here. So you guys are doing a little West Coast tour here, starting in San Diego.
San Diego,
yeah. So talk a little bit about that. So if you're in any of these cities on the screen, you can go to the NFT XLV, right? Is it like a convention at every single one of these cities, or is it like a smaller meetup event?
Not a convention, more of a let's get out there and build these communities locally where they are. Use our platform that we have to get people coming out, meeting the other crypto interested, NFT interested people in their cities, and then hopefully leaving behind a legacy of these people meet up regularly and they hang out and we're developing friendships and communities. Regardless of blockchain, regardless of which NFT, PFP rock on Twitter, just get out there, meet people, and engage because, we have a tendency to get toxic when we're just in our little echo chambers. But we get out there and meet and interact with people. And really, I think that's when magic happens for me. So we're going to be going San Diego, LA, Monterey, San Francisco. I'm going to take a pause and go hang out at Crater Lake. So if you really want to come up there, I heard they have an awesome distillery. We'll get a drink and hang out. But then we're going to Portland. That is Vancouver, British Columbia, actually. And then back and down through Seattle, Boise, and back here home in Las Vegas. I think we're looking at maybe doing a shindig at the Nerd Bar down there on Fremont. So,
and well, we love you guys, and we want to be part of this, and we want to help grow not just NFT XLV, but the Vegas crypto scene, the Vegas NFT scene. And so, Adam, why don't you go ahead and announce what you guys are doing for the Sin City community if they want to go to the convention here in end of September?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I was so excited to be on, and this is actually being here is my first time watching the show as well. So to say hola to the Sin City crypto community, we're going to put, what do you call it? A coupon code on nftxlv.com, and it's live right now. 10% off all tickets if you want to come out. General admission all the way up to our Diamond VIP passes, 10% off. We just shared a link in the comments, and that will automatically apply that. But yeah, good for 10% off all your tickets. So come out, join us, meet myself. I'm going to be there. The guys are going to be there, and we're all just going to have a great time.
Sin City Crypto will be there as well, and we're excited. So either use the link if you want to go, or when you go to the website, use coupon code HOLA. That's without the H, OLA. And so, yeah. That's all we got. Anything else you guys want to add before we tornado out of this thing?
Tornado, huh?
Yeah.
No, I was expecting like 10 to 15 minutes of talking, and so I'm, going to go grab
please.
I'm going to go grab a water or something.
Now, big shout out to Adam and Nick. I know Nick didn't talk on camera. You want to say something, Nick, before we sign off? What do you got to say?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, we're really excited to come back this year for NFT XLV. Last year, we had a lot of people who came, described it kind of like a Disneyland or Comic-Con for Web3 and NFTs. So we really want to continue bringing those vibes to the convention center and for all the community. Another really cool thing was that we had over 145 exhibitors last year from over 25 different countries. So this really was like a great way for people to meet projects and founders and developers that are actually creating on the blockchain. So we would love for Sin City Crypto community to come out and be a part of that with us this year.
Amen to that. And like I said, we'll be there. These gentlemen will be there. Last year, Charles was there. Charles Hoskinson. We actually ran into him, took a picture with him. Cool guy. This time, maybe we'll pin him down. Maybe ask him a question, whether he likes barbecue chicken pizza or not. We'll see.
Charles will definitely be there as well. So
who?
Charles will be. Charles will be with us again as well. So and yeah, we had Ergo. And a couple of cool projects there, Solana, Ethereum. So yeah, everybody's welcome. Again, future is multi-chain. We're not even a big enough ecosystem for us to start cannibalizing and eating our own yet. So,
and I think that's a very good point as well. We're all in crypto for similar reasons. And before we start cannibalizing each other, like you said, let's at least build the ecosystem out to a big one. Guys, we are finished. If you want more information on NFT XLV, formerly CNFT Con, there's a link in the description of this video. If you want to go, use a coupon code. But first, before we leave, quick shout out to our sponsor, Cam's Blue Wire Technology. They have sponsored this live show. They'll sponsor tomorrow's live show, the rest of the week, the rest of the month, and maybe more. If you want more information on them, make sure to visit bluewiretech.com or click the link in the description of this video. Also, at the last minute, Jimmy, the official hype man of Sin City Crypto, has dropped 10 gifted memberships. Big shout out to you, Jimmy. Thank you so much for all the support of this channel. Speaking of supporting the channel, go follow us on all of our social medias at Sin City Crypto 1 on Twitter, Sin City Crypto _1 on Instagram, just Sin City Crypto on TikTok. And yeah, if I can have one for all of them, I would. But unfortunately, that's not the case. Also, R.I.P. Chef Murder. Tough moments. I can't believe he just talks himself.
It's no longer. It's no longer.
It's just funny.
Used.
People usually don't dox their burner accounts. That's all I'm saying.
But the burner account doesn't even work. The burner account's been burned, bro. That's all I'm saying.
You keep it under wraps.
Anyway, no, I'm mad. Somebody.
Okay. Yeah, my bad.
And I've been. Anyway. And we also got some new people here as well. Before we sign off, we got Hot on the Line, Chris Ergo, Okay Good, Conrad Denif, Mark Sanji, Next VL Cash, Mark Z, Messi, and Y. Hola! Welcome to Sin City Credit.
And adios, Rocco! Finger tornado. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. It was an absolute pleasure. Big thank you to our in-house guests, Adam and Nick. We look forward to bringing them on the show again as we get closer to NFT Con. But before we go, we'd like to say thank you. We love you on behalf of all of us here. We'll see you tomorrow. Until then, hey.
Ciao.
Ciao, bello.